G'day. Welcome to Oly35mm user-based, quasi-empirical, cheap and cheerful videos on Olympus 35mm cameras. And today, a drum roll please, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I would like to present to you the 1985 wonder, the Olympus XA4. Now, there were 5 models in the XA series, the flagship XA, all the way down in features anyway, to the XA1, which was a fixed focus disaster as far as I was concerned, with 3 in the middle, the XA2 zone focusing, XA3 zone focusing, and the XA4. So what makes the XA4 special over the other models? Well, this is the only model to have a 28mm f2.8 lens. All the rest were 35mm. And just to make it even sweeter, the lens would focus down to 30 centimeters, or 0.3 of a meter, or a foot if you like, in the old money. Which is really handy for a little compact camera. I must admit, even though the XA is the flagship model, the XA4 is undoubtedly my favourite of the cameras in the XA series. And in fact, so much so that I waited 18 months to get one at a reasonable price. Unfortunately, the XA4s, they were only manufactured for a year, and to my knowledge anyway, for about a year, from 1985 to 1986, and it makes them quite rare, quite hard to get hold of, and people ask ridiculous prices for them. So beware. If you want one, bide your time, keep an eye on the market, and pick yourself up one at something less than exorbitant prices. So f2.8 28mm lens. Nice and sharp, nice and contrasty. Focuses, it has various fixed focus settings, 0.3, 0.7, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, 1 meter, 1.5 meters, 3 meters, and infinity. And the wonderful thing about it, when you close the clamshell design, it sets itself back to 3 meters. So if you forget to set the zone focusing, which I've done on the odd occasion, you've got more chance of getting something in focus at the 3 meter setting than any other setting, basically, just by general photography standards anyway. Nice little viewfinder, quite close to the lens, although there are 2 lots of parallax marks. The ones at the bottom for the 0.3 setting, the ones at the top for the 0.5 setting. They're considered the 2 close focus settings. Everything outside of that is considered a normal focus setting. And at that close focus setting, there is a handy little strap that not only is a wrist strap, or considered to be a wrist strap, but is also if I can get it in to show you, it also shows you the 30 centimeter mark, and if you pull it out, it also, and then zip it around all the way. If I can't really show you properly, but also gives you the 50 centimeter setting as well. And now I've completely in a muddle. But so not only is it a strap, but it's also a measuring stick as well. This one's a little bit worse for wear. I think it's been overused. I try not to use it because I don't want to wear it out anymore. But a really handy little function. Another nice thing about this in the close focus setting is that you can fit the A11 flash, or indeed you can actually fit the A16 flash, which is the larger flash if you wish. But you can fit the A11 flash on, and there is actually a little adapter that actually covers over the flash and will actually allow you to use it at the close focus settings. Now, frustratingly, when I got this camera, I got an instruction book for the flash adapter, but unfortunately no flash adapter. So the best I can do is to show you, this is what the flash adapter looks like right there. I haven't actually ever seen one. In fact, I've never actually even seen one advertised on the internet. So that's the close focus settings. What else have we got? It's programmed exposure. And it has an electronic shutter button, electronic shutter speeds or controlled shutter speeds from 2 seconds through to a 750th of a second. And there's two program settings, if you like, one for the 0.3 and the 0.5 meters, and one for everything else. Why is that, you ask? Well, there's a little LED in the viewfinder, which unfortunately is green, because I see green as a go button rather than a stop button or a warning button. But there's a green LED that from anything from 0.7 through to infinity will warn you if the shutter speed is less than a 30th of a second. In the macro modes, or in the close focus modes at 0.3 and 0.5, that actually goes up to a 90th of a second. Generally, you'll find that the closer you get to a subject, the more it's magnified, the higher your shutter speed really needs to be. So I think that's a really clever little feature that it's got. It is DX coded, and it will run from 25 ISO through to 1600 ISO. However, if you have non-DX coded film, you can actually manually set the ISO down the bottom as well. And I've got a faulty XA4, which is also DX coded, and the DX coding doesn't work, so I just put a bit of tape on it, and I manually actually set the film speed, and it works an absolute treat. So that's a really, really nice little feature, especially if you roll your own and you don't actually have DX coding on your actual cases. So great little lens, seems to handle the exposure really, really well. It is so pocketable, I mean, it's just, there's nothing to it. In black, nobody even pays it any attention, so it's actually quite a nice little street shooter. It's quite quiet. I'll just wind it on. You can hear the shutter is quite quiet in a street setting. You wouldn't even hear that. I use my XA2 quite often for street shooting, and nobody even pays you any attention with it at all. So great little camera. It's a treat. Really, honestly, it's a treat to use. I just absolutely love it. I'm hoping that you will agree with me when you see some of the photographs at the end of this video, and if you can justify the amount of expense, even at the reasonable price that I was talking about, if you can justify the expense, you'll be rewarded with a fantastic little camera. So, the Olympus XA4, I've gushed on enough about it. From there, I think that's probably a lot for today. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.